Hello, adventurers. My name's Tyler.
And I'm Richard.
On today's episode, we're checking out Widdershin's Thrice-Bound Codex. Welcome to Tree Strike.
Howdy, folks, and welcome back to the show.
Howdy, folks.
It's that time for Tyler's favorite new thing.
What's that?
Community highlight.
It is my favorite thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. That and romantasy frameworks.
Oh, yeah,
coming to
romantasy
Daggerheart.
frameworks. Yeah. Which we're getting that.
Yes.
And maybe going to get more. And actually, you know what? I think after tonight's episode, I want to see if there is some stuff out there that maybe people have produced that we just haven't found yet.
You're talking about community highlighting some romantasy stuff?
If it exists, why not?
I mean, it's the internet. It exists.
Yeah. Yeah. So community highlights. So this is where we're going to be talking about, we've done it, a couple of times already, stuff that's made by the community.
Mm-hmm.
This one was actually brought to our attention by one of our Spotify listeners, Annie Spats. Annie Spitz?
We'll go first.
Something like that. I like Annie Spats. It sounds good. And Annie was asking about us to look at Widdershin's Thrice-Bound Codex.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is by Heart of Daggers .com. And it is got illustrations by Edward Yorkie. And I went in and picked it up. Do we talk about pricing on here? I don't remember if we talked about pricing on Community Highlights before.
So with Dungeon Club, everything he had up at the time, there was like a pay what you want sort of situation going on. So we have mentioned price. So yeah, of course.
So when
That's part of it.
When I purchased this, when Annie first recommended it, it was $9.99. So it was $10. When I went to check on it just like the other day, it was on sale. It's $6.99 now. So I don't know how long it's going to be on sale.
Right.
But if this is something that you're interested in when you're hearing this, you might want to go check because you might be able to get it on sale.
Now, part of that, I have not read through this. I did not purchase this. This was all you. You're going to tell me about it, etc.
Yeah.
I do know that there are two parts to this.
Yes, which was what I was going to,
Can you purchase those separately?
Yes, you can.
And would you recommend that?
You can buy them separately. I think if you just buy the Thrice-Bound Codex itself, it's like $2.99 or something like that.
And is that
or the whole kit was $10 is when I paid for it.
Okay, and the Codex is
so the Codex.
I know there's an adventure, and I know there's something else.
Yeah. So there's an adventure, and then there's a magical item.
Is that the Codex?
That is the Codex.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Now this is where a little bit of confusion. So when I first saw this, and when you pointed the comment out to me, and I looked it up, I thought that the Thrice-Bound Codex was a bunch of items. Right, that were like magical items that somebody had made. It is just one item.
Okay.
So the Codex itself, if you buy it by itself, is a single item, but it's an item with many different effects, basically, which we'll get into when we talk about it.
Okay.
So yeah, like I said, it was $10 when I bought it. Right now, if you were to buy it while listening to this, it's $7. So it's a little bit cheaper. I don't know if that price is going to change. Maybe it goes on sale every now and then.
He says listening to it, recording.
At time of recording.
Yes.
So yeah, it is that cheap.
But maybe it is still that price when you listen to this.
Maybe it is. So yeah, I picked this up.
We will link to it down below.
Yeah, I picked this up with the intent of buying both because first I thought it was just the single thing, and then I looked at it and I was like, oh, there's an adventure too, and I was like, oh, bet if there's an adventure too, I want it, especially from the description of the thing was basically that it was made to be kind of a little standalone like entry to your characters or a drop-in adventure that you could just slot in with an existing party or anything like that.
Because it's level 1, correct?
Yeah, because it's a level 1. Okay. And that was intriguing to me. I like that. I like little drop-in stuff, especially if you're like looking for something quick to send your players through on a night where you don't want to do a ton of prep. Something like this is right there. So I picked it up and read through it. Tyler, like he said, has not read through it.
Nope.
So
I've seen the name and the cover.
Yep. He's basically going to be getting the reaction to kind of what I'm going to tell him about it now, which when we do these things, especially these smaller guides, so we don't read it word for word, obviously.
Oh, of course, yeah.
There are stat blocks in here. If this was like a major book release, you'd probably be going through all the stat blocks. There's not many stat blocks, so we're not going to do that because I don't want to just give away Heart of Daggers content.
No, anything
free.
Community made like that, we're never going to
community made stuff. Yeah, so we're not going to be reading the stat blocks out, but I will. We'll talk about a couple of the things in the stat blocks that
definitely
I find
some highlights.
Cool. Yeah, some highlights that are here and there. But yeah, so don't expect that, but do expect some spoilers because we're going to talk about the adventure in here. So sorry, Tyler, you're probably not going to run through this adventure. I'm going to save this for other people.
Okay, fair
because
enough.
you're going to get some spoilers on it. So yeah, spoiler alert if you plan on playing in this or something like that, or you have somebody that's going to run you through it, we're probably going to maybe spoil some stuff. I'm not going to tell you the ending of the whole thing, but there's going to be some spoiler-ish style stuff in here.
Question.
Yeah, shoot.
Do you think, now that you've read through the adventure and the codex itself, $10?
Okay, so $10. Is it worth it? So I paid 10, and it's, like I said, at time of recording, on sale. Absolutely.
Really?
I think this was well worth $10.
Okay.
I think it is top level, first level review of this right out the gate. Very fun. Very fun adventure. The surprise of it being a single magical item versus like a bunch of magical items was something. Like I was like, oh, it's only a single magical item. That's interesting. But then I read it and I was like, oh, okay, I get it. It's cool. I would pay for that. But I like the adventure a lot more than I like the book.
Okay.
The codex itself. The adventure is very, very cool. The book itself, basically the closest thing you're going to get to it is a deck of many things. So Widdershin's Thrice-Bound Codex is a book that, it exists in the adventure, but there's really never any explicit rules to use the book in its form in the adventure for the players, right? So you can run this adventure and have your players never actually crack open the book and use the book's pages.
Just be like the MacGuffin.
And exactly. Okay. The book is a MacGuffin for the adventure. If you do want to use the book, obviously it's there. You can totally use it in this adventure in a couple of different ways. Or if you don't care about the adventure and you just want chaos for your players, you have the Thrice-Bound Codex that you can just use. Now, one of the interesting things that is in here is kind of harkening back to Daggerheart and the way that they work as far as how they tell you to talk to your players and stuff like that. And this is an important one too, is if you are going to use the Thrice-Bound Codex, the item, you really need to talk to your players first. Because like the deck of many things, the Thrice-Bound Codex is possibly character altering.
Okay.
Up to and including death of characters.
Okay. So it does go all the way to the void, so to speak.
Exactly. Just like the deck of many things, if you've ever had it in one of your games, there are mostly negatives in the deck of many things. I wouldn't say that's the case here. It is not mostly negatives. It feels relatively decently balanced. And there are some interesting ones in here that are negative positives. So basically you take a hit to a stat to get a benefit of some other sort.
Okay.
Which is very creative. I like what they've done with the rules here, but it is definitely one of those things where you don't want to just throw this to your characters unless you just really want to be mean and punish anybody who decides that they want to use it, basically, because there is a fair chance that somebody's going to have an alteration to their character that they might not be happy with without future consent or past consent, I guess I would say. So that's the one thing I would say about the Thrice-Bound Codex is if you're going to use it, talk to your players. But we'll talk about the Codex when we get to it in more detail. And I'm going to make Tyler roll on the Codex.
When?
And that's how we're going to go over some of the things in the Codex.
I do have some dice.
It's a D100 roll is how it works. But we'll talk about that later. Right now we're going to talk about the adventure.
Because this is like a wild magic surge sort of
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Okay.
The adventure is my favorite part of this entire thing and why I can easily say this thing is worth $10.
And that's even though you could buy the adventure separate from the Codex.
Yes, you can buy
the adventure itself is worth $10.
Exactly. I think the adventure is worth it for me personally. I really like what they've done here. It is so well written and it has some really cool the way it's written, I'll get it to those when I get to it, is very just fun and very like easy on the game master, the way that they explain things to you. And I really like that.
Like quick prep sort of situation.
Exactly. And I think it's worth it. I think having the actual codex itself is very fun and it could be very useful. Will I use it often? Probably not, because like I said, it is pretty character altering. It would probably be more fun in like a 3-shot game, right? Because some of them you need multiple games to kind of get the effect of it. So I can see it being fun, for smaller games. But I would sooner use the adventure than I would use the codex, I guess is how I would put it.
Okay.
So the adventure itself is not super long. It's a quick little thing. Like I said, it's mostly like a session essentially.
I see here it's 15 pages.
Yeah, it's only 15 pages. It has a couple of main characters. Widdershin, the aforementioned wizard, is like the main character of the storyline. And essentially, he is the one who created the codex. It is his book of spells, and he's off to try and get it back. But the thing is it's warded against him. So he needs he needs to get adventurers to solve the riddles to unlock the ward to release the book, basically, to call the book. And then that's how he can get his hands on the book, is to use adventurers to do such.
Is he the frog?
No, he is not the frog. There is a frog, the adorable frog wearing a witch's hat in here. And this, like I said, the artwork by Edward Yorkie is great. Like, this is excellent artwork. That the frog is just super cute. There's another character, Quill, who is another adventurer, basically, who is trying to get the codex as well.
I was really hoping it was going to be a sentient kill. Quill.
No, Quill is another character. So those are the two like main characters. So you get those two characters, and you get their associated stat blocks, like full-on stat blocks for them. And then you also get a couple of adversaries. So there is a page guard, an overdue warden, and then there is a traversal environment, which is the living archive, the reading hall that you're actually in, which is really, really cool. So the adventure, like I said, the thing that I like about it the most is the guidance that they give you for Widdershin and Quill. They don't just throw you these two characters and tell you like the background of them. They go into like really good details about, one, what to read to players, obviously, about like scene setting. But when they get into like when you're getting ready to play Quill as an NPC, and when you're getting ready to play Widdershin as an NPC, they go into really good detail about how these characters act, and even going so far as to give you like ideas of statements that Quill would randomly make, like during conversation with like with the player characters, or like in fights and stuff like that, like telling you like, oh, this might be something that she might say, and like something like that. So I really like this idea of a creator giving you more guidance on how these NPCs are played. Yeah. Which some people might not like.
You don't got to use it.
Exactly. And you don't have to use it. Like if you're a game master, you've put your own spin on an NPC before that you've seen in a book. Most of the time because you had to.
Right.
Because they give you a name and they say, you're playing Flarbarg, the barmaid. That's it.
Yeah. And I mean, I guess there's merit to that in these like bigger modules and stuff where, you're going to kind of craft the world yourself anyway. But for like a level 1 sort of one-shot adventure you do, the more information you have on these characters, the better.
Yeah.
Because you can just quick prep that.
Yeah, because you can quick prep it going in. I really do like that, though. I love the fact that they just give you so much detail on these characters and like how to play them, essentially. Yeah. And it makes you get a better idea as you're reading through this adventure of what these motivations are and like what Widdershin is actually up to.
I like
how he plays.
The bits of like aesthetic details as well.
Oh yeah,
they put on their stat blocks.
Tons of little details on their stat blocks. Yeah. The other thing that I really like about this is there is a lot of information here. So if you just go to the very first scene, which is the ledger and the lantern, so this is where you first meet Widdershin, basically, and he tempts your players into going into this hidden library to retrieve the thing. Essentially, they give you the idea of the place. So, like, they tell you what it is. They kind of tell you like the different people in there. But they also give you, and this happens in almost every scene, different roles that the players might make to discover small details, which is really fun because it's taking, again, a lot of pressure on you as a game master to come up with a bunch of stuff. It's all right here, which is why I like this as such a really quick drop-in kind of adventure. And it starts off like that, and then it just keeps moving in. And the other thing that they talk about a lot in here is ways to keep your party from stalling. And you notice that right here in the beginning.
Okay, that's useful.
Yeah, there is a nice, and everything is really well laid out. You know, if it's stuff that you're supposed to be reading to players, it's nice and highlighted in blue. And then they have like these red blocks of like basically just pointing out like, hey, make sure you read this part because we're going to tell you not to say certain words to your players because that's going to give them hints of this specific thing. Or like, don't let your players get bogged down in this situation. If they hesitate and they don't do this to push them this direction.
Yeah.
Do this to advance it along. And they do this throughout all the scenes. Like there's many scenes where they basically come in and they say like, hey, you know, if your characters happen to come to this room first, which is the last room of the rooms that your characters are supposed to be going into, basically get them out of that room because there's limited stuff that they can do in here. So give them a very basic description of the room and then set it up. Like tell them that there's footsteps outside or that, you know, read this, you know, sentence that is, you know, Quill whispering something and they can hear her from another room, basically. Something to entice them to leave the room and maybe come back later after they do a couple more doors. So I like that. I like this theme of being a very simple, just everything here that you need, no thinking required unless you really want to, and you want to mold this to be your own. You really don't have to. You can just jump right in here and they give you everything that you need to kind of like work your players along.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, you know, the guardrails are obvious, but in something like this, and you just like you mentioned, I keep saying quick prep, something like the epic encounters, you know, the one shots there and stuff. Sometimes it's just nice to just crack something open and after, you know, 20 minutes, you've got a game ready.
Yeah, you've got a game ready to go. Yeah. And this is not going to be complicated to run either. And it's also not overly complicated for your players. So this is a tier 1 style adventure. So it's not, dedicated for your players to be incredibly high level.
Right. Would you say it's combat heavy or more
it doesn't have to be, actually. You don't have to have any combat in this at all if you don't want to. And they basically set it up for that. They have different areas where they're like, if you would like this to be a combat, make it a combat. And here are the adversaries that you're going to use. And they give you the overdue warden and the page guards. Which are basically like library constructs. The page guards are like basically living pages with like stamps that they like stamp on the players, and they can string each other together to make shield walls to increase their difficulty. And the overdue warden is like a really overbearing library like monitor, walking around. And that theme kind of like stems out to the whole adventure. It's all about basically being quiet. So if your characters catch on that they're in a library setting and they're quiet, then they're going to be a little bit more successful because being quiet, being stealthy, that's how you do it. Whereas like being seen is, normally the norm. Like as long as you're hiding somewhere, then you're hidden. In here, it's as long as you're quiet, you're hidden. Because the constructs don't have eyes. They're just listening. They don't care if you're there. They just want to make sure you're not being loud in the library.
All right. I like that a lot.
Yeah. So there is combat there if you want it to be. And I think that's probably one of the other interesting things is that, like I said, this is a tier 1 kind of a setup. Now, Widdershin himself, the stat block in here, definitely not tier 1. He is incredibly powerful. At no point, he's a tier 3 leader. straight up. The Overdue Warden's a tier 1 leader, the Page Guard's a tier 1 standard, and Quill herself is a tier 1 skulk. The Archive itself is a tier 1 environment. So Widdershin is extremely powerful, and that is well represented in his spells. If you were to actually have Widdershin fight a starting party, he's gonna wipe them. Yeah. Like, he is going to destroy them in like one single spell. He will be able to basically just kill someone. And his magic abilities are very much like time and stasis related. So being able to basically stop somebody from attacking him with a move just by spending some fear, or instead of taking damage, rewinding time to not take that damage. And one of his one of my favorite abilities is Annex a Spell, which basically allows him to seize a spell that somebody is casting on him and then reflecting it. So basically just stopping it and then shooting it back at somebody. So yeah, he is definitely incredibly high level. So if you did want to make this a higher level, like a higher tier encounter, you could easily do so by just introducing Widdershin as a fight.
Are there moments in this that Widdershin's stat block actually comes into play just as written?
No. So yeah, basically the moments where he comes in, they essentially kind of just, they tell you to use him as like a plot move forward device. Like, have him appear, take what he came to get, and bounce.
Okay.
Right. And
so this could be a reoccurring character.
And that's exactly what it is, right? So jumping ahead to the end of this campaign, the end of this campaign is the beginning, or the end of this one shot is the beginning of essentially a campaign.
Nice.
Like, it wraps up with you meeting up back in the inn outside of the library that you've been annexed into, and basically going after Widdershin and like trying to get the codex, right? And, you know, like get it back and try and heal somebody. So there's like this whole thing at the end, which is to build up keeping playing with your group. And then at that point, you can just make up whatever you want, right? You're now into the realm of, you know, writing the story that you want to see and how you want it to unfold. And, you know, maybe your players have the codex now, or maybe they don't. You know what I mean? It depends on how you decide to play it out and what the choices that your players make. But it is left very open-ended at the end of this, as far as like being able to expand on it. There's a clear ending, but there's like the little part at the end where like you fade out and now you're in the inn.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, what do we do now? This is what we do now. This is clearly where we go next.
I just read the little blurb at the end, and one, I like that it says like, read the players and be dramatic.
Yes, and be dramatic.
But that definitely would intrigue me and make me want to come back for a second game.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's how I read it too. I was like reading it and I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like, it's not really over. Like, there's more. And I would love it if we got more Widdershin content. Like, I would definitely buy a follow-up to this, just because this was so well written.
It looks very well laid out.
It's incredibly well laid out. Yeah, like I'm saying, it like goes from scene to scene, and everything about it is extremely straightforward. I will tell you this: how do I want to say this? The riddles, I guess, or the challenges, right? So essentially there's 2 challenges that your players have to overcome until they, you know, get to the point where you can unlock the codex. The last time we did a game with challenges, man, were they hard. They were so hard. You got those off of Drive-Thru, right?
No, Reddit.
Oh, that was Reddit? Mm-hmm. The heist?
Oh, sorry. I thought
I'm talking about the heist.
Okay.
No, Xanathar's heist.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was Drive-Thru. Yeah.
That was some hard stuff in there.
We were talking about riddles. I thought you were talking about Strahd stuff.
Oh, the Strahd stuff. There was also some really hard ones in there too. Yeah, both of those times we had some like incredibly tough riddles, right? So like those were hard. And I was expecting some hard riddles in this one.
Right.
And I got to them, and they're not hard. They're very basic, and even like they give you ways to make it even easier for your players.
We need an example. We got where are these at?
You want me to tell you one of them? I mean, we did say there were spoilers, right?
That's true.
We did say there were spoilers.
You know, I'm not going to get these right because it's easier to say like the riddles are easy when you're not like on the table in character and like trying to like play a game.
Yeah, no, I get it. Okay, so
I can look dumb in front of the audience.
You can look dumb in front of the audience.
Do it every week.
So we will spoil one of these doors. So there's 2 doors you have to go to. Your players can go to them in any order, right? And what you're trying to get is these sigils, and you get a sigil by solving the riddle. So we have the first one, which is the Seal of Time, the counting room. Okay. So I'm going to give you the riddle, and you're going to have to solve it.
Right, that's what I was worried you were going to do, but I also figured you would do.
So you go into this room, right? I'm not going to set the whole scene, but you go into this room.
I'm in character right now,
and you have plaques in this exact order: dawn, noon, dusk, and midnight. Okay. Now, what we're going to read here is etched across the door's frame. Keep the day, and the day will keep you. What do you do?
Keep the day, and the day will keep you?
Yes. And there are 4 plaques. Dawn, noon, dusk, and midnight.
Keep the day, and the day will keep you.
Yeah.
I'm so confused.
And then
I've got plaques.
They give you some hints.
I would say I would investigate. I'd see what happens. Can I touch them? Can I move them?
You get some heat. You get some hints, right? So you walk up, and if you hover a hand over
I would try to touch them first.
Right, you can try and touch them. You can feel intense heat if you like. Well, not intense heat, but you can feel like warmth over some of them when you hover your hand over them. You feel like you can press them. Right. Okay. And then there are other hints that basically say like, okay, well, in front of dawn, there are many worn footprints. Like this is if you do really good on your roll. Yeah. So the floor in front of dawn is well worn. And then it's less worn as you go through the plaques.
Okay.
Yeah. Now,
is it like people are not making it all the way through? Or as in it's always done at this first one? Like this is
maybe.
Interesting. Okay.
Now I won't make you sit here and solve it. I won't make you sit here and solve it.
I'm just trying to I'm trying to expound it. Like I'm thinking about this in a game sense, right? Because sometimes the easiest puzzles can take forever.
Yes.
Especially when you have 3 to 4 people and they're all trying to figure it out in their own way.
Okay.
And you're having the conversations back and forth.
And then I'll give you another prompt on a knowledge roll of 11. You notice a gold thin line that tracks east to west, the zenith, like a sun's path.
Mm-hmm. So you just have to touch them in order of like...
Keep the day, and the day will keep you.
Mm-hmm.
So you solved it when you said you just have to touch them in order.
Is it really that?
Yes, because it's the day. Because the day begins at dawn. Moves to noon, dusk, and then midnight.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all it is. It's you keep the day, you touch the plaques in the order of the day, the cycle of the day. So the idea is, if you look at the plaques, the one that stood in front of most is dawn because that is the very first part of the day.
Mm-hmm.
The golden line is the zenith of the sun's path for the day from dawn to midnight, and that's it. You touch the 4 plaques, and then the puzzle is over. You get the control. You give me the sigil that you need. Yeah.
It's funny because it was my instant go-to was that would be the answer that was too easy to be the answer. And I could see the players arguing for like 5 minutes about the right answer. They're like, that can't be it.
So I gave you like the super easy one. The next one, slightly harder, but way more fun.
Ooh.
Way more fun. And I'll tell you about that one.
Is there actual gameplay to it or?
Yes.
Nice.
There's actual gameplay in this one. And it is super fun. And it is really cool. And it is a puzzle that I would use in another game to unlock a door or to get through a room, I would use it outside of this because it is a very fun puzzle, and I don't want to spoil it.
I would say you don't want to do the disservice to Heart of Daggers and just give it away for free.
Exactly, which is why I gave you the Dawn to Dusk one, because that one is easy and it's nothing that big a deal. But the second one, very cool. I like that one a lot, and I do want to tell you about that one off podcast because I think you'll enjoy it too, because it's funny and also just a neat thing. I just like it a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that would be the only, I guess I would say, complaint that I have, is that one of the puzzle rooms, and like the third room isn't really a puzzle either. It is a puzzle, but it's basically like figure out that you have to put the sigils in a thing, right? That's the puzzle, is that you have to figure out what to do with the sigils. And the third room is figuring out what to do with those sigils. And
you find a thing that matches the shape or something.
Exactly. Okay. Which is not super complicated, but it technically is still a puzzle.
True.
So you complete the 3 puzzles, and
it
essentially...
is a level one shot.
Yeah, it's a level one shot. And then the book gets called. And then at that point, stuff happens, basically. And like I said, the stuff that happens is, mostly narrative stuff, right? Even when you encounter Quill throughout, Quill has a stat block, a tier 1 stat block for fighting, right? And the page wardens, the page guardians and the wardens all have stat blocks for fighting. But I can definitely see you being able to run through this without ever actually fighting the page wardens or Quill. Because Quill can be spoken with and Quill can be rationalized with. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a fight. But Quill is kind of ever present. She has a really cool, basically, moment that can happen too in the third room if your players aren't fast enough, which I love. Basically, like they tell your player, you say like, okay, have your players do this, and then when this completes, say these words, and then see what your players do.
Okay.
If your players do not do A, then Quill does B.
So it's not even like it's not even a countdown die.
Yeah, basically it's like you decide how long you're going to give your players, and if it feels like they're taking too long to do this or you don't want to prompt them, have Quill do this.
Do you think a countdown die would make more sense?
I think it would be fun. Yeah, I think it would be more fun to use a countdown in that kind of a situation, and then like have it. But maybe countdown die would be overcomplicating a little bit, and just kind of like, if it was me, I would probably just be all like with a wild grin on my face, looking at the players, waiting for them to say something or do something. I'd be like, "Are you guys gonna do anything? Are you gonna do anything? Wait, did you say that out loud?" Which is, I love saying that.
Yeah.
Was that in character or out of character? I need to know. Inquiring minds want to know is how I would handle it. Yeah, and then if they didn't, then Quill does her thing, and it's funny and cool. But yeah, no, that's how I would handle it. But I mean, you could totally do a countdown if you wanted to. But yeah, it's very fun. It's very, very cool. And it could easily be made into a harder encounter. Like I said, the very fact that Widdershin has a stat block at all. And then I started reading it and I was like, man, what is up with this dude's stat block? Because I read the stat blocks first.
Yeah.
Right. Because like I got the thing.
Is this so hard?
And when I opened up the file, like there's printables, right? And the printables include your stat blocks. So I started reading the stat blocks and I was like, oh, Palomore Quill, she's super fun and really cool and has some really cool abilities. One of them didn't make a whole lot of sense to me because it was like cursed voice and in parentheses frog form, and I was like, what? What's frog form? She's an Infernus. What does that mean? And then you find out later what that means. And it's really cool. Basically it just allows her to use her her frog voice to do cutting infernal syllables, which make you make a presence reaction roll of 12 and then mark a stress and give the GM a fear. Which is really cool. Super fun. But yeah, I read her stats. They're fun. The page guards, like I said, those are the kind of like paper-based stuff. One of their coolest things that they can do is make a move to basically go flat against the wall. A la that Legend of Zelda game.
I was literally going to say, yeah.
At which point they're like hidden, right? They go flat and they just disappear. Which is really, really fun. And then you have the Overdue Warden itself, which is like a giant, like clockwork brass, like made of like book spines and stuff like that, who can basically kind of like spotlight the page guardians, which is really fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
spotlight
he can like, kind of like get the other adversaries to do stuff. And then also has like the ability to like do like more abilities that not just do damage, but like manipulate other stats. So like Quiet Please is a passive. So when a PC within very close range rolls with hope, reduce their hope result by 2.
Wow.
Yeah. So just really kind of fun little interactions like that, which are like more just like stat manipulation and dice manipulation rather than just doing straight up damage, which is fun. I like it.
Interesting. That just gave me an idea for a cool adversary.
Oh, making an adversary.
Yeah. A cool spotlight ability of an adversary where they can or the GM can use a fear to increase a PC's fear die by 2.
Oh, that's actually a really good idea.
So
it
increases their chance to like hit or something, but it also increases their chance to roll with fear, which gives you your fear back.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I like it. The Living Archive, the reading hall, is the traversal. This is the environment that we get on here. It's difficulty 11. The potential adversaries are obviously the Page Guardians and the Overdue Wardens. Again, I won't go through all the abilities on here, but I'll give you one of them, which is the passive, which I like a lot, which is the Quiet Rule, because we're in a library. Anyone who whispers and or moves slowly, consistently, gains advantage on their next agility or finesse roll within the hall to avoid notice. Any loud action such as shouting, running, metal on stone, open flames removes the advantage.
Okay.
And then the key thing is what surfaces dampen sound here. Thing to think about. Like what kind of sounds are your PCs making that could alert their presence to Quill, the Wardens, or the Page Guards.
Now, does the advantage stay consistent until one of those things breaks it? Or
yes,
is it just
until something breaks it? Exactly. Yeah. Okay. And then theoretically you could move out of the scene like, Page Guardians doing something and then gaining it again.
Okay.
Which is really fun. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I was reading all these, all level 1s, and I was like, oh, these are really fun. And then I got to Widdershin himself, which is the tier 3 leader, and started reading some of these abilities. And man, they are like, they're crazy. Like some of the damage stuff that he does is just incredibly high. Like I said, this isn't something that he's not somebody who I would throw at people in general being the level 1. And that's not the intention here. I mean, his wand is a far 3d10 plus 3 magic damage.
Yeah.
So, I mean, his attack is plus 4. He's going to hit and he's going to murder somebody.
I mean, you got thresholds and stuff, so he's not going to bring you down to 0 off the rip, but it's going to hurt.
Yeah, it's just not going to be great.
His out of order reaction is
okay. Yeah, I was trying to choose one of these that I was going to read.
Yeah.
Do you think it should be that one?
I don't know. It's up to you. That one's my favorite.
So I'm not going to. I'm going to give you another one. I'm going to read this one because I want to hammer home the amount of damage that Widdershin could actually do. And we're going to go with Temporal Decompression.
I had a feeling.
As an action, choose a creature within far and unravel space between their atoms. The target makes a strength or instinct reaction roll of 17. On a failure, they take 4d10 magic damage and are slid to far from Widdershin. On a success, they take half damage and hold their ground. That's pretty brutal. As just an action. It's just an action. Like, you're not spending, like...
There's no fear spent for that.
No, it's just, this is his action.
You've spotlighted that adversary, you do this thing.
And he's got quite a few things. Like, I mean, there are multiple reactions here that he has. It's a tier 3.
The fact that it's
yeah, it's a tier 3, which is good.
40-10, yeah, that makes sense. And reaction 17.
But like I said,
I think that's fairly bad. It's also
it was a shock.
The flavor of it, I think, is cooler than anything.
And all of his stuff is like that. That's like all of his stuff is incredibly well flavored, and it makes him just a really unique character that I like want to know more about, basically. And everything about his stat block does that.
I don't want to read. I won't read all of it because I know we said we don't want to give away stuff. But the one I like, Out of Order, it's a reaction to spend 2 fear when a PC gains the spotlight, and you end the spotlight.
Yeah, you
and
end
then
it. That's right.
Do something else.
You do something else. You're like, no.
Like, that's awesome.
You're like, I'm gonna go. No, you're not.
I spend 2 fear, and no, I go.
No, I go. Not you. Oh
yeah. Oh my God, that's awesome.
So yeah, he was a bit of a shock. But again, like I said, they gave you his stat block, I think, for one, because it's fun. And they probably wanted to write him as a high level character. Yeah. You want to know what he is, especially if you use him in the future.
Just a step ahead of that, because I know you could just spend a fear to take the spotlight anyway and whatever. You spend 2 fear, you say no to somebody that's like purposely taking the spotlight, which is really fun just to tell your player no. Like just slam the no down card. You also get more for that. That's I'm leaving out the rest of it.
Yeah, you get more stuff for it, but still.
It's more than just the no. It's just fun.
Yeah.
Sorry.
But yeah, no, he's a really cool addition. And I think it just goes to show you what you could do with this for high level play.
Mm-hmm.
Right, you could definitely make this higher level play quite easily. Would be
you could buy this just to skin Widdershin and
exactly. Yeah, I mean,
for something else.
Use him for something else, which
That's
I totally
stat
would.
Block.
Like he's got such a fun stat block. He would make a really good villain, even if it's just one that's around for a little bit of time.
Heck yeah!
So yeah, overall, I really like this adventure. It's really cool. It's really, really fun, and I think it's worth it, even if you don't include what we're going to talk about next.
Which is wild because the other part of this, the Codex, is what, 35 pages?
Yeah, so the Codex itself is it says it's 35, right? So it says 35 pages. And the way that it works is all of these pages are on D100, but the actual pages start on 5. So there is no page 1 through 4.
Okay.
Yeah, there is no page 1 through 4. So technically it's 30.
Also, each page is like a card.
Yes, like. Exactly.
Okay.
And that's why I liken this to a deck of many things, because each of these pages is a spell, right? Or an effect. And then you get the description of what gets carried out in that effect. Now, the way the book works is kind of fun. I like it. Basically, you can't just pick up the book and then roll on the table, right? And then that's what you do.
Right.
Before you do that, you have to give the book intent. So you have to pick up the book and you have to tell it how many pages you're going to read. And then you have to read all those pages in order and resolve the effects in order.
Okay.
So if you pick up the book and you say, I want to read 1 page, then you roll, resolve that 1 page. That's the end of it. If you say, I want to read 5 pages, then only 5 pages get read. Those 5 pages get read, and then the book slams shut. If you open the book otherwise, it is completely blank.
Okay.
So your players can have this book and can look at it all they want, but it is a completely blank book. None of the pages have names, titles, nothing. It's just a blank book until you give it intent. And then once you give it intent, you have to read it. So if you're like, I just want to know what 1 page says, and you're like, fine, okay, well then roll on it.
So only swear him up to no good.
Yes.
Twice.
Which is really cool. And like I said, the book itself, I wouldn't say that it's overly negative. I wouldn't say that it's overly positive. I think it's a little bit of both. Some of them are very, very weird effects that have incredibly specific things that really wouldn't probably be used in a one-shot, right?
Okay.
These are effects that would be used in like a larger form play. And I'll give you one of them right off the jump. We're going to read it.
Okay. And then I have a
question.
question.
A good example. You can go your question first.
With that in mind, as someone who has not read this, my question is, do you think it would be best not to use this codex in the one shot, but instead do the one shot and then have this be an item that the characters get down the line if they choose to pursue Widdershin?
So that is, I think, the intent of the one shot. I think the intent of the one shot is that the players do get the book at one point. There is a chance the players can pick up the book. And if your players choose to read the book at that point, then go for it if you want to let them.
Sure.
Right. If you want to let that happen, I think you can. But I believe the intent here is to have you chasing down this book and getting it.
Would the characters have understanding of the intent being required for using the book?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you would have the understanding for it. But like you said, you can always keep your players from reading this book. Like if you wanted to just use a one shot,
I'm not going to make them.
So many ways to keep your players from reading the book and then making this something that you get at a later date, like you track down and you get from them. Yeah. So, I mean, it's really kind of however you want. But if you don't want to use the adventure at all, you could just literally throw this book into some rubble and have your characters happen upon it at a ruined cart or something, or while searching a building. And then, I want to read this book. And you're like, oh, really? How many pages do you want to read?
Bad guy plants it on him.
But a good example of like, because I'm gonna make you roll. And
I know I've got these dice for nothing.
We're not gonna read all 35 pages, obviously. We're gonna roll probably 3 of them, and we'll see if we get any repeats. If
you said there was one you wanted to read,
but there is one that I'm gonna read to give you an example of why some of these are not.
Do you want to see if I roll it?
I mean, we can.
What if I roll it anyway?
If you roll it anyway, then we're fine. So yeah, go ahead and
tell me how many you want me to do. You want me to just roll one and then at a time?
Roll me a 1, or roll me 1 die, and we'll read that, and we'll go on from there.
All right. So first off the jump, we got a 54.
You've got a 54. Mm-hmm. Okay. So 54 is the Star-Eaten Margin.
I'll leave it on this page, and I'll say page 22.
Page 22. Okay. You'll have to keep with me here because I gotta go through all my pages to find it.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, I'll fill the void with sultry tones.
What page did you say?
22.
22.
Star-Eaten Margins.
I didn't know I could actually do pages at the bottom. We're learning new things about this weird PDF reader that you told me to download.
It's the best PDF reader.
It really is. Okay, so Star-Eaten Margins. This one is very short.
Nice.
Permanently increase your maximum active domain loadout by 1.
Oh.
This persists only while you carry the codex.
Oh.
So as long as you are the person
this is really good.
holding the codex. I mean, it's really good.
Yeah.
You just got to not give up the
codex.
You'll
lose that codex.
This is your codex gone. Now. That's your precious.
What'd you get?
You're going to be fighting something. Nothing. Get away.
Nothing.
This book is horrible. Look, it's blank. You hold it up.
Let me see. No.
So right off the jump, you got a positive.
Heck yeah.
Not even a negative. Worst thing that happens is somebody takes your book and one of your cards disappears. The GM reaches across and rips it out of your hand.
Back in that vault.
That's the worst thing that happens. So yeah, right off the jump, you got a positive.
Heck yeah.
Cool. Maybe you'll get nothing but positives.
I mean, as far as I know, everything's positive in this book.
Roll me another so
far. Yeah, no problem. That is a 70.
70? What you got?
70 is on page 28. It is called The Hat with a Door.
All right. The Hat with this was one of my favorite ones.
Aha!
I'm so glad you got this one. Oh, this thing is cool. Okay. The Hat with a Door. A dark point bent hat appears on top of your head.
Pointy hat?
Pointy hat. This hat creates an extra dimensional closet-sized space accessible via its brim. You can store and retrieve objects that fit through the brim. To retrieve something from the space, you must make a knowledge roll 12. On a success, you retrieve exactly what you want. On a failure, you pull nothing. Each additional attempt to pull the same item after a failure requires you to mark a stress.
Ooh,
this hat, if this hat is somehow destroyed, everything within the extra dimensional space ejects in a powerful geyser at very close range, and I guess you could do with that with what you will.
Sure.
Which sounds great.
Yeah, it does.
Especially if it's full of swords.
Oh my god, this is amazing. How many swords can I place in
How many swords? It's closet sized. Depends on what kind of swords we're talking about.
Hit my hat.
Yeah.
Hit my hat.
Break my hat. Yeah, this one was one of my favorites.
Okay, that's really great.
I love it. No real negatives on this.
No, you're doing
positives. Really well.
They're all positive.
You're doing really well at not rolling negatives. I like the fact that this is not and the reason why I like this one a lot was because it's basically a hat of holding. But the fact that you can't just retrieve out of it.
Right.
You have to retrieve with intent, which means a roll.
Mm-hmm.
And if you fail those rolls, you start marking stress.
Yeah.
Which is really cool because it is a cool hat, but it's not broken. It's not just a completely broken bag of holding that you're carrying around that you can just dump stuff out of. They're going to make you work for it. I love it.
I like the stupid, I'm thinking about it too and how stressed my character is getting. Like,
where is my sword? Yeah, you're getting really stressed.
It's full of swords.
Yeah.
Why can't I
There's
grab
14
one?
swords in here and I can't find one.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to rip this thing in half and everybody's getting a sword.
Everybody gets a sword.
Oh man, you can't possibly roll another positive. We're only going to do
only positive.
We're only going to do 2 more.
Yeah, we're doing 1 more.
Well, I was going to do 3. Oh, actually, yeah, we're going to do 3. If you don't get the 1, then the 4th one, I'm just going to read it because it's an interesting one, which has implications for long-term games.
Okay, good. You ready?
Yeah.
I got a 26.
Okay. What is it?
A 26 is also known as the Unending Zeros on page 13.
I don't know how I did that, but I went to the exact page before you said that.
You knew it.
Yeah.
You knew.
Okay, this one is, again, not an overtly negative one.
See?
But a funny one. This is some Acquisitions Incorporated stuff right here.
That's my favorite kind of anything for tabletop ever.
When making any transaction, you can choose to multiply your coin amount by 10.
Okay.
Coin offered appears tenfold to observers. After a short rest, the excess vanishes. All affected parties that transacted with you soon realize the lack of coin and refuse to deal with you in the future. After choosing to multiply your coin 3 times, a powerful creditor hunts you. And this effect is no longer accessible.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. At first, they already add the stipulation that, like, not only it's not even like a deception thing or anything like that. They're just like, hey, they know
it disappeared.
They won't do business with you. It's like a hard line in the sand. Like, they won't do business with you anymore. Like, okay, whatever, sure, game rules, whatever. And then the fact that they double down and they're like, you get 3.
You get 3.
And then you're being hunted.
And then you're being hunted by a creditor. You're going to be sitting around the fire and your messaging stone is going to be going off and your party's going to go, are you going to answer that? No. No, I'm not going to answer that.
I love this so much.
And that's just like so cool. I love it. A powerful creditor is hunting you. I told you there's some Acquisitions Incorporated.
That's some acting right for sure.
I love it. So that was the closest thing to a negative you got.
Oh, that's nothing. That's the so positive.
Which is
that's
hilarious.
So funny.
But do know there is stuff in here that will kill you.
Nah, I don't believe it.
There's stuff in here that will kill you. There's stuff in here that will separate your soul from your body.
I was say there's something called surplus soul.
Yes, that will. Yeah, exactly. Will separate your soul from your body, and your body will just become a husk that your party members have to carry around until they figure out how to get your soul back into it.
It's fine. They got the whole. If you go to the void, they got all the ghost stuff. Just to run that.
There is a version of a wish in here as well.
Now you lost me.
So that also exists, and it is the only way to get around some of the other ones.
I really wish I rolled Croak.
Yeah. Croak, you'll figure out that one if you play the adventure. So yeah, not all negatives. You didn't get all negatives. You got some really funny ones, actually, and a couple of really good ones. Some of my favorites, honestly. But the one I'm going to give you is the City of Masks. Because this one is one, like I said, that is a little bit harder to use in a one-shot scenario. This is something for an adventuring party that's been around, an adventuring party that's going to go around.
This sounds very much like a Sarah J. Mask romantasy.
The city of
Mask.
The City of Masks and despair. Okay, so this one. Name a city you've personally seen or been to.
Tampa.
Once ever, conjure 2 invisible masks over the city.
What?
Okay.
Like Majora Mask stuff?
A gold mask means that destitute becomes prosperous. So interpret that how you will. All the poor people become rich. So basically anyone who is destitute in the city or anything that is destitute becomes prostitute. The laurel mask, your party is revered there. Okay.
What?
The Iron Mask, the city becomes militant. Guards are increased tenfold.
Wow.
And the security is enhanced. The Mirth Mask, festival mania, revels, loose laws, busy thieves. So the town goes crazy. It's Mardi Gras all the time. The Silent Mask, crime, silent but deep. Clean streets, closed shutters. Straight up. And then the ending condition is you can dismiss a mask during your downtime. So you basically, you get to place 2 invisible masks over a city of your choice that you've been to. And then at any point you can remove one of those masks during your downtime, or you can just leave them up. But this is once ever. So when you read this page, this happens one time.
Yeah.
And then never happens again.
Interesting.
But this is one of those things where, like, if you were playing a one-shot, it
doesn't matter at all.
It doesn't really matter because you can name the city that you're in, and maybe it'll have a minimal effect right then and there. But this is something more along the lines of like, there's a hub city that your characters have to go back to, or, you know, like that they're going to, like, you know, the city that somebody has been to, like they were grown up in, that you're on your way to go to, kind of a thing that could drastically change how that city reacts or what happens in that city, and could change a storyline, right? Because you can have a city that's going to be attacked, right? And your whole storyline is to get there to try and, you know, like fend off the attack that's coming into the city. Now all of a sudden, Iron Max, the city becomes militant. The guards are increased tenfold. You don't have to go there anymore.
You said you pick these, right?
Yes, you pick these. Yeah,
right. I would run this different.
Yeah, conjure 2 invisible masks over the city. Now, how you would run this differently is probably how I would run it differently.
What are you going to say?
Roll them.
I wouldn't even do that.
Oh, what would you do?
I thought about rolling them. I would let the players pick one and then the GM pick after.
Oh, that's even better. You pick one, I pick one?
Yeah.
I love it. That's the new rule for City of Masks. We're gonna write that at the bottom. You know, but so there's a couple others that are more
rolling. It would be good though, of course.
There's a couple other these that are more far-reaching, just like this one. I think City of Masks was a good example of kind of being a far-reaching one.
That's considering like you can make coin look like it's 10 times the coin, and then the bag man comes looking for you. Like I was like, oh, that's fun. You're like some invisible mask with world-altering
capabilities. Yeah. Yeah, like, so I like this book. I like this book, but we didn't touch any of the ones that the disclaimer is for, because, like I said, they talk about making sure that, so here's what they say: interest checks. Drop 1 or 2 of these questions at the start of a session or in between sessions as a poll for this book. Basically, how do you feel about artifacts that grant huge power at a price? That's a good question. The other one is, on a scale of 1 to 5. What's your interest in reality warping magic that might permanently change your character?
All right, I love that. Speaking of that, I just read Soul Doom Clock.
Oh, God. Oh, man.
Dude, I want to write a whole, like, multi-shot mini campaign.
That one,
about just this.
That one, your characters will play around that.
That's awesome.
They will play around that one for sure.
Oh, that's sick, dude.
So yeah, that's what they mean when they say might permanently change your character.
Yeah.
Including death in some cases.
Yeah.
Or not. Maybe just changing your character a lot. So yeah,
this is fun.
This is fun. And like I said, if you're missing the deck of many things, like you're a D&D transplant at a Daggerheart, and you're like, man, I wish the deck of many things was here, and I don't feel like making it work for my game. This is a good way of doing it.
There's also I don't know if they mention it in up front or anything, because I didn't read through any of like the forward stuff or anything like that. But the way they have their layout, if you scale appropriately all of these to be like card printouts, you can just shuffle it up.
Yeah, you could just shuffle it up.
Just completely like forgo the dice rolling.
Yeah, that's probably how I would actually do it.
Same.
Like, is I would actually make this like a deck, because they look like a deck, right?
Yeah.
The artwork that was from the book transfers over to here. Nice filigree along the edges of the pages.
Exactly.
It's very well written. The font is fun. It would just be really easy to print this out and have it be like cards, and you can be like, oh, you're reading 3 pages, 1, 2, 3.
Yep, and then they're one and done.
Yeah, read them in this order, and then you're good to go.
Yep.
But yeah, no, I like it. It's really cool. And that's why I said in the beginning that, like, I would pay the $2 for this thing.
Oh, easy. Yeah. No, this is great.
It is a very fun item. Like I said, the shock of, I thought this was a bunch of items, not just one item, was like immediate. Like I was like, oh, it's just one book. And then I started reading them, like, oh, this is like a deck of many things. This is a little fancy.
Yeah.
And cool. I like how there's a lot of stuff in here that messes with domain. There's stuff in here that messes with your hope, with your stress. There's stuff that, like messes with your coins. You know what I mean? It's cool. There's a lot of fun stuff in here, but it is dangerous. Don't get Tyler's incredibly good rolls wrong. It is way more dangerous than Tyler has made it out to be.
I don't know. It seems fine to me so far. Just got to worry about the debtor coming for you, but whatever.
I think a debtor coming for you is amazing. They don't give a stat block for this debtor.
No, it doesn't even.
The creditor or whatever, which is fine. I just like the idea that, like, oh, they're coming.
Yeah.
A creditor is coming.
You don't know who it is.
Yeah, maybe it's Widdershin. Who knows?
I like the idea that it's like a small child, and you're like, knock, knock, with like a cart and there's like cookies in it. And you're like,
yeah.
Oh, no, I'm not interested in the, like, I'm here for the coin.
No, so what I imagine it is, not just a creditor, but like every time that you use this ability, it's pulling the coin from somebody's actual coin purse.
Yeah.
And then they figure out that it's you. But like every time that I go to pay for something and I have no money, and then it just appears the next night. It comes back, but not when I need it. And you've done this to me 3 times now. I got evicted because I couldn't pay my rent. I had to wash dishes at an inn because I couldn't pay for my stew because all my coin purse was empty when I went to leave at the end of the night. That's how I envisioned the credit.
That's really good.
So yes,
that's the best interpretation of it. Yeah.
I didn't tell Tyler what my thoughts were on this when he asked me, like, did you read that book? What do you think of it? And I was like, I want to talk to you about it. I have very strong opinions on it. He was like, oh, strong opinions. That means could be bad.
Could be bad, could be good. Either way.
It was positive. It was very positive. My strong opinions were overall very positive.
Good recommendation then. Thanks, Spotify.
Over Widdershin. So yes, Annie Spats. Very cool. Very, very cool. I'm assuming that they already bought it and enjoyed it, and which is why they recommended it to us. Or maybe not. Maybe they just were kind of on the fence.
Saw it look sick and
and
wanted us to take the plunge.
Yeah,
hey,
if you are on the fence,
approved.
Hey, approved. I bought it and I would buy it again, and I'm gonna use it. Obviously,
nice.
it's fun.
Cool.
I think it's really cool. I'm gonna use. I like the one shot. I think this would be a really fun one to run, like a small group like my, wife and daughter through when they want to do their game. I would totally run them through something like this. I think it's really fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you guys still got to do your
Banners
burning game.
Banners burning game. Yeah. Maybe it'll be a Widdershin's Banners burning
game. Ooh, that
I can't.
I don't know how it's gonna work.
I can't make that work.
It's getting strange.
But yeah, no. Heavy recommend. Do like.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. I'll tell you more about it later off camera.
We're gonna have to stop talking on camera then, so I can hear more about it. But like Richard mentioned earlier on, if you guys know of any romantasy editions or anything,
I forgot already
about put that. Out there.
Yeah, give me some romantasy community stuff.
Yeah, let us know anything specific. Other, even if it's not romantasy and there's some communities, members you want to shout out or highlights and things like that you found, or just something you want Richard to spend the money on so you don't have to.
I'll do it. I will. I don't care how much it costs.
Let us know.
Send it to me.
Wait, hold on. There's a deep hole. All right, guys, if you really need some cash, just put something out and hit Richard up. Hey guys, hope you've enjoyed this. If you're on Spotify or any of those places, which apparently a lot of you are. We were just looking at numbers and we always look at YouTube and everything else. Apparently Spotify is outperforming YouTube at this point. So thanks guys. You guys are doing great. Doing great work over there. Keep it up. If you are on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, though, 5 stars is really appreciated. If you're on YouTube, smash that like button, subscribe, hype, do all the things the kids are doing nowadays. But until next time, y'all, I've been Tyler.
I've been Richard.
And we've been
True Strike.
See ya.
Bye.
Hey, adventurers. Thanks again for joining us today. Please be sure to give us a follow on your favorite podcasting platforms and YouTube. If there's any questions you'd like to write into the show, you can hit us up on Threads, Blue Sky, or Instagram. New episodes release every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Thank you for listening to True Strike.